So this is the final look of the table. I had my husband take it out. Hopefully you guys can see the sparkliness on the camera. I don't know if it's really showing up or not. I can't see from here. Okay, first things first is you want to get a table that you're willing to, you know, DIY. I got this table for, I think, $40 at a local thrift store. Basically, it has a little nick in the top. I've already painted one layer of white paint on that. And then the legs have some dings. So I'm gonna spray paint the legs, and for now, I'm just gonna kind of fix the tabletop, do another layer of paint, and show you guys how to glitter it. I'm gonna do the wood filler right now. So make sure when you get a wood filler that you get a kind that's sandable and paintable or stainable. This was like, oh gosh, $3 at Home Depot. What, buddy? Okay, so I've dabbed a couple of spots of the wood filler in, and some got on my table, so it did take off a little bit of the paint because I rubbed it. And then you just essentially scrape it off. This is just a little marketing postcard that I have and everything. Okay, so I put a second coat of paint on. I'm gonna have to put a third. You want to put the glitter on when the paint is wet. So anyway, it does show there's a little blemish still. I probably should have done 2 layers of the wood filler, but when you put the glitter on, you're not gonna see that blemish anyway, especially after another coat of paint.
The edges are over.
I'm gonna have glitter everywhere.
I feel like Amanda would buy something like this.
You can stop recording, Grace. Okay, so at this point I have spray painted the legs, got the glitter all over the top. That's where I left off the other day. Can't see that very well. My camera's not focusing all that great. Around the legs and around like the base of the table, the underneath, I put basically saran wrap rather than getting a bunch of paper and taping it off. It was a lot easier to do it this way. There is some spots that are kind of hanging down, but I'm not worried that the epoxy is going to hit that, so I'm not going to worry about it all that much. So basically, I'm about to do the epoxy and mix it up right now. We've closed off my garage because it's supposed to be at 70 degrees when you do the epoxy. And my garage is a little chilly right now because it's like 45 degrees outside. So, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just stirring it for the last few seconds that we have on the second 4-minute stir. Just follow the instructions on the epoxy or clear coat that you get. Okay, our time's up, so we need to pour it on. You're gonna have some air bubbles, so just know that. You start in the center. And then you can kind of drag it away from the center onto the table where you need it, or whatever surface you're going to be putting this on. Try to get as much as you can. And try to keep from doing little drizzles like I just did onto the table. Try to kind of keep it into the center of the pile or whatever the heck you want to call that. It works for less air bubbles. This is self-leveling, so as you kind of swish it around, it'll start to go to the sides itself. You only have 15 to 20 minute working time. Once you get it on the table or whatever surface you're going to be using it on. Don't worry about air bubbles. They'll come up. You can also fix them later. Use a heat gun to get air bubbles out. This one's not really going to the edge of the table like the first time I did epoxy. It just all kind of started running towards the edges, so this is a little interesting for me. I'm trying to work somewhat quickly, but then make sure it kind of stays level at the same time. Grace, can you stop and plug in the hot glue gun? Or the...
Yep.
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is with the epoxy all over it. Sorry we had to stop filming, but I had to get some sponge brushes and stuff because on the edges, it didn't completely... The epoxy was just kind of sitting in the middle of the table and it made it very difficult to get it to the edges.